It's coffee time with John. This time with fresh apple cider. Somebody asked me the other day whether that's hard cider. And my answer is this. Why would I do that? I don't want to alter my consciousness. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't do drugs. My only consciousness-altering experience that is my vice is pizza. I like my food. I like my pizza, right? So that is my one single vice. But I love fresh apple cider from the farm. And so every fall, I just look forward to my month or two of really good fresh apple cider. And then I go on until the following fall. I look forward to that moment. I wanted to talk this morning about spirituality and evolution because it's a very interesting thing to speak about in tandem. Spirituality, we all talk about Buddhism and Hinduism and Christianity, and especially when you're coming from a Catholic background, the recovering Catholic person in me, we get very drawn into these huge beliefs from 2,000 years ago. Did you know that the earliest cave art that they have found is from 37,000 years ago? 37,000 years ago. So we know that 37,000 years ago, people had the cognition to make art on the wall or to draw on the walls of their caves. 37,000 years ago is the oldest art we have found thus far. In the grand scheme of things, these spiritual/religious beliefs are a blip in time. 2,000 years ago compared to 37,000 years ago is a long, long time. All of these spiritual principles that people adhere to from 2,000 years ago, before that, what was it? What did people believe? People probably believed, I have to hunt for food. I have to get warm in the winter. They were coming from very primal responses. But 37,000 years ago, they had enough wherewithal, enough thought process to make art, to make drawings on the walls. Now, was that art or was it actually memories? Well, one of the oldest ones is is hands, prints of hands. So I can't see how that could be passing down any method of hunting or anything like that. It's just artwork. So we know that 37,000 years ago they did that. This blip in time of spirituality, modern spirituality, and you can call Christianity a modern spirituality. That blip in time is where the majority of our angst, our turmoil, our judgment, our pain live. When people started leaning into these dogmatic beliefs rather than treating people the way they wanted to be treated or defending themselves as they needed to defend themselves, or coming back to the very simplistic nature. We know they procreated or we wouldn't be here. So they must have had some good relationships of some kind. They probably had some bad ones too. But they never had the struggles of, well, my religion says this, and my religion says that, and my religion says this, that we know about. We can't prove any of those people ever had any sort of dogmatic spiritual belief like that. So now, if moving forward, okay, you have Hinduism and Jainism, which is even older, and they predate Christianity by far. Judaism predates Christianity, right? They all predate Christianity. But in those older beliefs, not Judaism, but actually someone recently informed me that there is actually a reincarnation story in Judaism, which I haven't found yet. So I'm going to research that. My friend Leszek told me that. So if he wants to share with me where that was, I would love to read that. But when you look at, so prior to Abraham, there were many gods. There were many gods, right? Abraham is the one that for the line of succession of Judaism, Christianity, Islam, and Baha'i. Abraham is the one who said, no, there's only one God. And he said that at a very specific time when in Egypt, I think it was Imhotep, was the one who took us back to one God. And the most famous pharaoh that we all know is Tutankhamun, right? His name was Tutankhamun. Amun means one God. So they took Ra was God over all the rest, which is very much like Zeus, who was God over the gods, right? So, and then eventually it all breaks down to being only one God. So all of these thoughts from Christianity and so on and so forth are based in these stories coming up behind us. And then when along comes, Christianity, and because of that, people claiming that Jeshua was the fulfillment of a Judaic prophecy, everybody else had to be wrong. Everybody else suddenly had to be wrong. So in the last 2,000 years, a mere blip in time in humanity's history, all of these wars have been fought in Jesus' name, in God's name. All these people have been subjugated in Jesus' name. And the question we all need to really ask ourselves is, were they right? Were they right? Well, trust is developed by results over time. And the more people lean into Christianity, the more struggles we have. Look right now. I mean, we're having a struggle in the United States between right-wing Christians and left-wing liberals, and you get to choose which side you're on. But it's still a struggle of, my way is right, your way is wrong, and it has done nothing but cause violence and pain. So the concept of following a religion based in a blip in time is fascinating, because it's almost like Christianity is the new anthropological fad, right? and we've decided that everybody else is wrong because there are some circles that in the Christian faith who think I'm a blasphemer or a false prophet. I've heard that one a lot, or an antichrist. I've heard that one a lot. I've heard that I'm delusional. I've heard that I'm lost. I get that one too, right? But I'm only lost, delusional, or an antichrist or a false prophet if you're a Christian, because those are all messianic Christian judgments placed on people who've decided that is the only way and it is right and everybody else is wrong. So 37,000 years ago, they found cave art. But 2,000 years ago, they decided that everybody else was wrong. So I want you to really think about that. What is your true nature? Do you want to love or do you want to fear? Do you want to fight against people who don't think like you do? Or do you want to love all people and let them see the love coming from you? Do you want to go out in the world and subjugate people to your belief and force them to believe what you believe? Or do you want to see the beauty in all people's beliefs and find individual truths that match and have commonality with people? What do you want to do? It's really up to you, because spirituality is that personal journey I always talk about. But it's up to you to decide to take the journey. Now, I often say that this is one trip you must unpack for. And I firmly believe that. I think we need to set down all the dogmas of Christianity, Judaism, Islam, Baha'i, Buddhism, Hinduism. I think we need to just come back to being love and choosing to create a beautiful experience around ourselves. And I think that is the simplicity of it. I think we come down to liking people, or understanding at least when they're in fear, and giving them a break. So, oh, I'm so sorry you feel that way. For me, I believe this, but I'm sorry that you feel that way. Or if they say something and they might take that phrase I just said as an insult, I say, I respect your beliefs. I respect that, but I don't believe that. And then if they continue to argue, it's because they're trying to sway you. And that's where you know that they're using their faith as power. And then you have to recognize that, okay, they're just wanting power, because that's where they find where their love comes from, is being right. And technically being in fear, because what they're doing is saying you have to follow these rules or you're not going to make it to heaven. Right? I don't buy it. All these dogmas, New Age or old, are all a blip in time. 37,000 years ago, they found cave art. So think about that today. Ponder that for a moment. And you guys have a great day. And I'll talk to you soon. See ya. Bye.
Thank you so much for watching. The John of New channel is solely funded by your generous donations and purchases of private readings and merchandise. To help out, go to johnofnew.com or use the donation link in the description below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.